Hello and welcome to another video and podcast from Fantasy Football Scouts. The international break is nearly coming to an end and we're getting ready for game week 12, which is starting this weekend. Oh my God. It feels like ages since we've been away, but we were only here last week to discuss FPL General's team reveal. But we've got some more questions, more injuries to deal with, lots and lots to chat about. Mark, how are you?
I'm very well, Joe. Good to be back. Yeah, that week's flown by, and always feel you get to the second Monday of international break, you can start planning ahead. Everyone's got their weekly routine and getting back into listening to content and all that kind of stuff. So good weekend to be Irish as well. We had a big victory against Hungary, so still buzzing after that.
Yeah, so what was it put against Portugal as well?
Yeah, we beat Portugal 2-0. Ronaldo got sent off. I think
Yes.
his first ever red card for Portugal. And then we beat Hungary with a 95th minute
Wow.
winner. Troy Parrott scored all 5 goals during the international break. So former
stuff.
Tottenham man, he's now playing. I think he's at Alkmaar. So
Good stuff.
they're going to be building a statue of him.
I saw the clips of lots of Republic of Ireland fans telling Ronaldo what they thought of him as he left the field, which was I found quite amusing.
Tears.
Yeah, lots of tears there. I've got to introduce myself. My name's Joe. Of course, Mark is the FPL General. Do remember to press that like button, really helps us out. Do remember to subscribe, keep up to date with our latest videos and podcasts. Also, do check out fantasyfootballscout.co.uk for latest membership offers to get access to all the tools and gadgets help you climb up your mini leagues and all the stats and stuff that we'll be chatting about here. That's all from the members area there, so you can get that at your fingertips. We went through your team last week, how you did in game week 11, so there's no need to dwell on that. Both got green arrows, which is good. Just a reminder, let's have a look at your team reveal sort of early thoughts. You've got 0.1 in the bank, 1 free transfer. Do you want to just quickly go through your team and sort of how what your rough plans are before we sort of get into detail with those, but also what the potential injury situation could mean for your team?
Yeah, it's been a frustrating international break for many of us. Gabriel in particular, we're not really sure what the issue is, but it looks like there could be some kind of injury there to keep him out for a week or two. Not what I needed. Only got 1 free transfer. I've already got a lot of issues. Chris Wood, Gyökeres, Kudus are sitting on my bench. I've got Nick Pope in goal, who I was hoping to sell this week in the luxury move, fixture-wise. We'll have a look at some goalkeepers a little bit later. At the back, was planning on a back five. Gabriel, Virgil, Munoz, Senesi, Anderson, which was looking good, but Gabriel question marks now. Midfield of Saka, Bruno, Sarr, which is fine, and Semenyo. And we're hearing a couple of whispers from Ghana that there could be a possible issue there. And up front, Mateta. So yeah, no bench really at the moment. Gabriel issue, possible Semenyo issue, weak goalkeeper. So I don't think I've taken a hit all season, and maybe I go hit crazy on Friday.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, I've got 2 free transfers, and that still doesn't seem enough at the moment. I've also got Pope, and I was hoping to get rid of him. I don't have any Bournemouth defence. I've got Gabriel, Semenyo as well. So just an update on the injury situation from the Ghana FA. Semenyo, he's been sent back. He's got a left anterior talofibular ligament strain, which was aggravated during the game against Japan, and that's why he was replaced in the 55th minute there. Also, I had a look at Gabriel, so he's got a thigh injury and a adductor injury. The average return time for a sprain to where he has a sprain is 3 to 6 weeks. If it's a tear,
Physio Joe here.
Yeah, so if it's a tear, that's even more. I was saying to Tom Freeman on his video, I'm now a trained doctor, obviously, because I've looked at the internet for 4 seconds.
Joe Dinnery here.
Yeah. So the that's the average for a sprain, which it seems like it's a sprain. They didn't seem to indicate it was like a tear. So if it's a sprain, 3 to 6 weeks, but it could be much less than that. It could be just, it's looking doubtful for this weekend, but you never know. And the annoying thing is his manager's Arteta, who, well, I almost swore there, but I do the team news with Neil every week, and I always try and get my head around whatever Arteta's got to say. There's literally no way we'll know from Arteta So we'll just be relying on probably journalists with some inside knowledge, I think.
Yeah, I've been too cautious with Arteta this season and delayed getting Gabriel twice, and now he's finally in. I think he got me a one pointer, and he now possibly injured. So yeah, Gabriel and I are not on the best terms.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're probably not going to have much info
no.
going into the weekend, but it's probably one of those, again, team dependent. But even if it was a week or two, there's definitely the case for maybe just keeping him and trying to hide him on the bench because you're going to want him back. So
There
but
is some. Yeah.
we'll certainly look at some replacements, of
I mean,
course.
I'm personally looking. If he is out for 2 weeks, then I'm thinking of getting rid because he's 6'5". I got him for 6'2", for example. So I could sell him for 6'4". It'd probably come down to that within a couple of weeks. But even not, it's just 0.1, and I don't mind getting him back and just maybe replacing him perhaps with another Arsenal defender. And I don't mind getting him back and moving him. But I've done the same for Senesi. I basically got Senesi in Munoz in for Senesi. I want Senesi back, but in the meantime, Munoz has outscored Senesi for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So I've made points, and I think well, we're going to come to Gabriel replacements. Well, I think anyone you replace Gabriel with is going to do really well. So you're going to get points, I think, while Gabriel's out, and you can just move him to get him back in.
Yeah, and I suppose another key fact there is only four more game weeks, and then we all get topped up to five transfers.
Yeah,
So maybe if that wasn't the case, there would be more inclination maybe to hold on to him, if you're going to have to use two
yeah,
transfers on him. But the fact that we'll all be sitting on five pretty soon
yeah,
makes it easier to let him go.
yeah. And you'll get this is just a word of caution because I mean we're content creators. I listen to a lot of content. We all do, and there's various narratives get drawn. Cast your mind back to game week 1. If you were listening to all the content and you were looking to the strategy, everyone was going to wildcard in game week 12. Well, that hasn't happened. Loads of people have wildcarded already, content creators especially, and they may be a bit later. Maybe game week 13 could be better for a wildcard anyway. But if you look at that narrative there, so the narrative here with those 5 AFCON transfers is, all the engaged managers will will save them, and they'll all get ahead of the masses there because they'll save those transfers and they'll squirrel them away. But I don't know if that's going to be advantageous. I think if you need to use them, use them. And there's certainly some good fixtures. I mean, a lot of people have Saar, for example. Brian Mbomo's really popular. Brian Mbomo's in a third of teams. I mean, I'd be using transfers if I owned them, but also anyway because there's fixture swings coming up. You've got to deal with injuries and things. So it's just a little sort of word of caution for my fellow content creators. The narrative that gets created may not necessarily be their own narrative or the ones that you want.
Yeah, and I can guarantee you one thing: I will use my five free transfers quicker than anyone else. I'll use them all on the first day. Look at the state of my team. I'm counting down the days until I get top up to five. But yeah, it's I think on that point as well, most of us are not used to having four or five free transfers staring at us on a Friday night or a Saturday morning. And the hardest thing in FPL is to do nothing. There's always one or two improvements you can make.
Yeah.
And yeah, ideally, you're in a good spot when you get them and you hoard them for a while. But yeah, people are going to be using those transfers, especially I think I seen Andy tweeting, is it 10 deadlines in 45 days coming up or something
Yeah,
like that.
it's
So there's going
huge.
to be injuries, there's going to be rotation, there's going to be we're going to need those
Yeah.
five.
Definitely, and it's also worth mentioning that if you have managed to squirrel some transfers away, they've got to be used by Afcon. So if you've got some transfers, we all get 5, and 5's the maximum. So if you go into game week 16, hanging on to 2 or 3 transfers, they're gone. You might as well use them. So I think
Yeah.
that's why I'm quite transfer happy at the moment. Don't mind it.
Yeah, I think what we'll see next 4 game weeks is it gives the opportunity to be a bit more aggressive, of course. It's almost like dead ended into
Yeah.
a wild card because you've got the transfers to bail you out. So you can be a little bit more aggressive with maybe, flair picks.
Yep, definitely. Okay, so you've got a few issues here. Potentially Semenyo, potentially Gabriel. You'd like to move Pope on. Also, you've got Chris Wood, Jokeres, Kudus on the bench there. They're all injured currently, but they may not be by the time you go in. But nevertheless, are they the best players? So
Yeah.
you've got a few issues here. So let's have a look at the first one, the Gabriel one, because this is one that's going to face a lot of us. So what I've done is I've used my attacking defenders table, looking at all matches. This is, and I've sorted it by minutes per expected goal involvement, but it's also got whether they get DEFCON in it as well. And I've sort of cherry picked some I think are just interesting ones. Some will already be in your team, Mark, and some will already be in others' teams. So, for example, Munoz is on here, or he's going to be already in a lot of teams. Van Dijk as well, maybe, but might not be. So I've just put them on catering for everyone. First name, minutes per expected goal involvement, best one, Timber, Arsenal, 6.1. 11 shots, create 12 chances. These are huge stats. DEFCON, forget it. But obviously, being an Arsenal defender, 6 clean sheets. So a really simple move for you and any Gabriel owners is just move to Timber. And there's something I may do.
Yeah, and I think we like to overcomplicate FPL. Those of us who spend too much time on it, and if you spend 5 minutes on a Friday before the deadline or a Saturday morning, you come in, you get rid of Gabriel, and you just get Timber. Job done.
Yeah.
And it looks as good as anything to me on paper. And I've heard a few people talk about Van Dijk. I've already got Van Dijk, and the fixtures are improving now, but there's no chance I would ever go Van Dijk over another Arsenal defender
Yeah.
at the moment in this current season. So yeah, I think it's going to take a lot for anyone to beat Timber on this list. I do Calafiori comes up next there. I do like him as well. But I've had a deep dive through the numbers during the break as well, and there's not much between those two. But for me, Timber just comes out slightly on top.
Yeah, Timber created 12 chances. We're going to Calafiori's stats here. He's only 4 chances, but he has had 13 shots. And every Arsenal match I see, he certainly seems the most attacking, but it is game dependent. Minutes per expected goal involvement every 345 minutes, so just behind Timber there. DEFCON, like Timber, forget it. But he's got 3 attacking returns. Timber's got 4. So they're very similar there. My only thing that's stopping me personally doing that is because I know the narrative is, oh, Arsenal defence is amazing. And of course it is. But the next 2 fixtures, the North London derby, you never know. You expect them to win it, but will they keep a clean sheet against Tottenham? And then they've got Chelsea, and that's quite tough, I would say. And then they've got Brentford, Aston Villa, Wolves, Everton, Brighton, Aston Villa again. Much better. Bearing in mind they've conceded against Sunderland as well this season. So that makes me think, I don't think an Arsenal, a like for like. So Gabriel's out for 2 weeks, getting another Arsenal defender in. I think there might be better defenders over that 2 weeks. Obviously
Yeah,
not
and
long
again,
term, but
the most obvious point of all here is if Gabriel's not going to play, the defense is not as strong.
indeed.
And again, you've got to factor in if you go Timber, you're making it harder for yourself to get back to Gabriel because it's probably going to be a double like for like switch, especially if you've already got 2 other Arsenal players. So there's a lot. It's not as straightforward as just getting Timber in for Gabriel, and that's why we do need to explore some of these others.
No, that is a good point there. I mean, for example, I've only got 2, so those with 2 Arsenal players. If you moved Gabriel to Timber, that's fine because if you wanted to keep Timber, you can still get Gabriel in somehow whenever that moment comes back in. So you get your 3. But yes, if you don't, if you've already stacked up with 3, replacing Gabriel with Timber, then you've got to move back, perhaps Timber, and that might be a bit more problematic. But yeah, so
Yeah,
for me, I
and
think
you're gonna want Gabriel back. You can talk yourself into I'll be fine without him, but as soon as he's
yeah.
back, as soon as he scores again, you're gonna want to get him back.
Yeah, I think I would if he's out for 2 or 3 weeks, I'd want to get him back. But we got lots of these transfers coming up soon. That will help. Next name is Munoz. He's already in your team. But once again, those who don't have who perhaps want to double up on Crystal Palace, he's very attacking. He's in your team, my team. 10 shots. Got 3 assists and a goal, 4 attacking returns, same as Timbers, 4 attacking returns. And that 10 shots create 6 chances. I think he is still the best. I've followed your advice. You've always been a Munoz man, and I followed that.
Yeah, one of the few things I've done well this season is having Munoz possibly right throughout, and I'm still firmly in the belief that if you want a pass defender, just get the fun guy, get the guy who plays in the final third very often. Although there's so much value in that Crystal Palace defense,
Is there?
and double up could be the way to go, especially when Sarr heads off in the near future. But yeah, Munoz, you can definitely make a strong case for Munoz over a Timber, for example. We'll look at the fixture shortly, with Palace are 3rd on the ticker right up until game week 19. So fixtures are good. I know they're juggling Europe, but they seem to be doesn't seem to be having a huge impact on minutes Premier League wise. If only every manager, was like Glasner and just didn't really rest the players, would be much better for us. He's making life quite easy for us so far, and hopefully that continues. So yeah, very happy Munoz owner here, and I do expect to see a lot of people go Gabriel to Munoz if there is a significant injury.
If you're already tripled up on Crystal Palace, of course, there won't be much room for the fungi. Let's move on quickly on that one. Next name is O'Reilly, Man City, starring for England now. I've got my eye on him. Not necessarily this fixture against Newcastle, but they've got this lovely run at home to Leeds, away to Fulham, away to Sunderland. A home to Sunderland, away to Crystal Palace, and a home to West Ham, and then Nottingham Forest and Sunderland away. I mean, it's a great run of fixtures, really, once they get Newcastle out of the way. But Newcastle arguably could be okay. Only 7 starts. So he's always prone to pep roulette, but he does seem to be favoured at the moment. 7 shots, 8 chances created, 2 assists and a goal. Yeah, he's a bit of a breakout star for this season.
Yeah, I'm just clicking some buttons while you're talking there. He is the top scoring City defender. I don't think anyone
There
would
we
have
go.
predicted that at the start. Last 5 game weeks, there is 3 attacking returns and there is 3 clean sheets as well. So 3 attacking returns, 3 clean sheets. A lot of people have kind of been speaking about him in relation to, when Eight Neary goes to AFCON, O'Reilly's going to be great, but he's actually just been great for the
Yeah.
last 5 weeks and will probably continue to be. So someone with my rank and my season, he's very attractive because no one is there. I have not seen him in a single team across Discord, social
No.
media, anywhere. And it's one of those punty ones that I should probably have a look at. But yeah, it's still I still think it's hard to go there over Arsenal or over Crystal Palace.
Yeah, if I free hit in game week 13, which is a possibility, he's in there for me. And also, so minutes per expected goal involvement is every 451 minutes, so it's still in the realm of pretty good for a defender. They do slip down for the remaining 3 here, but I do think they're worth considering. Brentford's fixtures really improve. They do have Arsenal away, but the rest of the fixtures from now to the end of the year are pretty good. Coyote is the long throw set piece guy. He's just got the 1 assist so far, but he's 4.5. Occasionally can get DEFCON. Same with Munoz and O'Reilly. I think Collins is more your DEFCON guy, but Coyote's he might get you some really nice assists going here. So, I don't know. Yeah, a 4.5. He's certainly a very useful enabler.
Yeah, he's in the mix. Coyote's in the mix in that price bracket, but I don't think he competes with DEFCON guys like Senesi, Anderson, etc. And as impressive as Brentford have been after all their summer change, players and management, I like them a lot more from an attacking point of view than
Yeah.
defensive. Only 2 clean sheets here for Coyote. We want DEFCON, we want attacking returns, but first and foremost, we want clean sheets from defenders. And even with good fixtures, I'm not overly confident in Brentford keeping them. So yeah, I don't think he's going to be coming in.
Okay. Next 2 is Van Dijk and Kanate. And I think Kanate is still worth looking at. He's 5.4, so he's 0.5 saving on Van Dijk. Both sure starters. Both have started 11. Kanate, in terms of minutes per expected goal involvement, is every 800 minutes, so still not great, but it's doubly good as Van Dijk. His is every 1,600 minutes. That basically means they're rare. Van Dijk's had 4 shots inside the box. Kanate 5, so that says Kanate's are of a higher quality expected shots. Kanate's also created 5 chances, Van Dijk just the 2. And in terms of DEFCON, Van Dijk, DEFCON points per appearance on average is 1.1, and it's 0.9 for Kanate, so not far off it. Not far off Van Dijk there. So neither of them have actually registered any goals or assists, but the fixtures do improve. I think if I was to go for one now, I think because of the future moves I want to make and money, I'd probably go for Kanate myself. But Van Dijk, obviously, he's got the pedigree of scoring.
Yeah, and I still think he's worth the zero point 0.5 extra if you're not, hamstrung by budget. The numbers here as well, yeah, they look good for Kanate. Again, just one example, Van Dijk had that goal ruled out against City. Again, that wouldn't get recorded in the numbers. He's scored twice in Europe, things like that. He has been scoring goals, just not FPL managers haven't been benefiting from it yet. So I would still favour Van Dijk. I think safer long
Yeah.
term for minutes as well. If this is a player you bring in and you keep them for forever, for the rest of the season, if a Mark Gahey comes in, for example, in the summer or in January, it's going to be Konate who drops out. So Van Dijk is the secure one. To me, he's still better for goal threat, despite the numbers saying differently here, and he's better for DEFCON. So yeah, I would
Yeah.
pay the extra for Van Dijk.
Well, we can see here there's a lot of choices. Some will be in some people's teams, but there will be a number that won't be. There's a lot of very attacking defenders you can get. Because Gabriel's so expensive as well, you can get them all. It just depends how far you want to go. So for me personally, I'm looking to save a bit more money. So I'm looking at maybe Senesi, or even a bit cheaper. But I think if I go for someone like Van Dijk or Timber, it would sort of lock me out of some future moves. So there's something to look at. And of course, the other option, as you always say, is do nothing and just keep Gabriel on the bench because you're going to want him back. And that is also an option. Personally,
Yeah.
for me, I think I would like to get a player in who get me some points, or rather, hopefully, points.
Yeah, team dependent, of course. My bench is a disaster, so I can't rely on anyone. But there's teams out there that have,
Yeah,
before the Gabriel news, we're going to bench Senesi this week or Anderson, and
yeah,
Dewsbury Hall types are still on benches, Elliot Anderson. So there's definitely teams out there that will be able to just roll with Gabriel if the update isn't very clear.
indeed. Okay, let's have a look at another issue in your team, and this will be the same for any teams, and it's certainly in my team. I've got Nick Pope, and they're just so bad away, and also they've got City at home next. So the next fixtures are pretty, on the whole, pretty bad actually. I don't know where the narrative came that this is a fixture term for Newcastle. I can't quite see it myself. So they're home to Man City, then they're away to Everton. That's quite tough. Home to Tottenham. That's not a great home game. I mean, for an attackers it is, but Tottenham can easily score, and Tottenham are better away. Burnley at home, finally, great fixture. Sunderland away. Well, we know what Sunderland are like now, especially against Arsenal. And then they got Chelsea at home, Manchester United, then the Burnley game again, Burnley away. So I make that two really good games until the end of the year. So I look at that and I think I can't rely on Pope every week. So I like
Yeah.
to move him on. For me personally, I Petrovic if I don't get Senesi, or possibly Sanchez against my better judgment. I still think he's good value, and the Chelsea defence. There's a few options for clean sheets there. They've got Leeds, Everton, um, Bournemouth at home, Aston Villa at home, Burnley away. There seems to be more potential there. Anyway, we'll go through this. Actually, before we talk about this list, before we discussed this, who would be your Pope replacement and why?
I'm just thinking I need to put the white smoke out the window here to
Yeah.
let you know I've decided on my Pope replacement. Look, we spoke briefly last week on this that I just had Sanchez on my free hit last game week, got me a clean sheet, passed his audition. So I am inclined to go there,
Yeah.
but certainly open to others. And just on the Nick Pope thing, you read the fixtures there. The way I'm thinking about Nick Pope is Man City next, Everton away, Tottenham home. In my mind, three blanks in a row, very possible.
Yeah.
6 points. So if I get a replacement, and even if it's a part of a -4, I would really only need one clean sheet in the
Yeah.
next three from the replacement
Yeah.
to break even. I know it's probably not the best way to look at it, but I just don't want to have Pope for the next three fixtures. I mean, does he even play? He's had concussion. He hasn't been great. Ramsdale is probably pushing him pretty hard for a starting spot. So I think regardless of what happens this week, even if I end up taking a hit or two, I want to fix the weak link in the squad.
Yeah. I mean that's what I would ideally want to do. So for me, it could be Pope and Gabriel going. So top is the Sunderland goalkeeper. He's 4.7. He's only conceded 10 goals. A minutes per save, really strong every 24 minutes. Got 4 clean sheets as well. So all Sunderland assets been a real surprise to everyone, really. He's 4.7 now, as we sort of locks him out. I think it's just the fixtures, really. They just don't scream clean. I know they're better than we thought, but they've still got Liverpool, Man City twice, and Newcastle and Brighton. And Fulham. So they've got lots of attacking teams to the end of the year. So I'm not quite convinced by him.
Yeah, I think with Sunderland, you look at Roofs, he's the top scoring keeper in the game after 11 game weeks. It still feels a little bit like chasing points to go there now.
Yeah.
But a 4.7, if you put him in the same bracket as the 4.5s, I think you can make a case that he is as good as any of them. Just the way Sunderland set up, I think there will be plenty more save points. and probably a few more clean sheets to come as well. I still think I'd be inclined to go maybe for a Petrovic over a Roofs just for the,
Yeah, I would.
I rate Bournemouth as
Yeah.
long term a better team.
Yeah. I've got Pope in here just for reference, really. Minutes per save every 27 minutes, so he's still really strong. And he has had 5 clean sheets so far, but I can't see it for the next few. Petrovic 4.5 is next. Every minutes per save every 28 minutes. I think he is the best of the 4.5s because he's got the potential for save. But clean sheets wise with Bournemouth, West Ham at home great, Sunderland away not so great, Everton at home great, Chelsea at home not so great, Manchester United away don't know, Burnley at home great. So they've got 3 or 4 really good ones next 5 or 6. So I
Yeah,
think
and
he
even
is the best.
you said there Sunderland maybe not so good fixture wise, but I think looking at the numbers during the break, really good defensive numbers, but attacking numbers not so
Yes,
good, maybe around
agreed.
17th or something for XG. And there's a reason why Sunderland attackers are not in any
Mm,
FPL team. So I think even in that fixture, Petrovic could get a clean
yeah.
sheet. So yeah, I do like him as a pick.
Yeah, definitely. Kelleher's next, not too shabby, 4.5 minutes per save. Big drop off though, every 39 minutes. Goals conceded 17, broadly the same. Clean sheets half of Petrovic, so I don't think he stacks up. Brentford's fixtures, they've got a defence wise, I don't like as much. I do like a lot of their attackers, but they've got Brighton away. Can't see a clean sheet there. Bournemouth, Burnley at home, great. Arsenal away, no. Tottenham away, no. Leeds at home, yes. Wolves away, maybe. Bournemouth and then Tottenham again. So there's a potential for, I would say, 3 clean sheets till the end of the year. It's still not as good as Petrovic, though.
Yeah, Brentford is similar to when I talked about Coyote. They don't just clean sheet potential doesn't feel like it's
No.
there. During the break as well, I was in the scout members area, looking at XG prevented for goalkeepers, and Kelleher actually was bottom of the list. I think he was minus
Yeah.
3.9
Yeah.
XG prevented. So he's not having a fantastic Premier League season.
No.
He's been a hero for Ireland, of course, but yeah, again, I can't make a case for Kelleher over a Petrovic or even a Roofs.
No. Verbruggen's next, 4.4. I've always said, don't go for Brighton defence. But they got 2 on the bounce, 2 clean sheets on the bounce. And the weird thing about their manager, I can't tell whether he's a genius or he's a couple of games from the sack, but he does adapt. When we get hammered, when Brighton get hammered, I'm a Brighton fan, by the way, that's when we said we. When Brighton get hammered, he does seem to learn from it. And they do seem to tighten up a bit. When they don't attack so much, he does seem to tighten it up. When the wingers aren't quite working, he will mix it up a bit. I don't know. But for Bruggen, it's 4.4. Minutes per save, very similar to Kelleher. And it's the next bunch of fixtures. Brentford at home, Nottingham Forest away, Aston Villa at home, West Ham at home. So 3 home games. Then they got Liverpool and then Sunderland at home. So another home game there. Then Arsenal and then West Ham. So they've got 2 or 3 tricky ones, but lots of good fixtures there.
Yeah, I agree with you. I feel like Hertzler and Brighton are the hardest team to get a read on.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
just
yeah.
never really know what's going to happen there. Are they good at the back? Are they good in attack? He changes so often, personnel,
Yeah,
tactics. Obviously, a very clever, good manager, but
yeah,
it's
thank you.
doesn't lead to consistency really, which is kind of what we
No.
look for in FPL. And that's why people, anytime you look at Brighton, you have all these question marks in any position, and you usually just say, I think I'll just go somewhere else. A bit more
Yeah,
security. I know what's going to
yeah.
happen. I know what the team's going to be. So for the same reason, for Bruggen, I often look at him and think, I'm not sure. I'm not sure
No,
about this defense. So
no.
yeah, I think better picks elsewhere.
The next we've got 3 premiums. And I say premiums as in they play for premium team, but Sanchez, he's a cut price premium. He's 4.8. He's the one I probably would go for because look at that goals conceded, just 9. Although the minutes per save, poor every 47 minutes. But he's got those 5 clean sheets. So 5 clean sheets, hardly conceding anything. And so you've got to weigh up, what I'm going to miss out for getting those 3 saves and that 1 point. I might make up for the fact that he didn't concede 4 goals. He didn't concede 2 goals. And it's those kind of things. I think I would go there. If I didn't go for Petrovic, I think I would go for Sanchez. And it seems like that's a move you might make.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do this week. I'll probably have to make another transfer too as well, but at this stage I don't care too much
No.
about rank and hits and stuff. I just want to get my team set up as well as possible and get some green arrows on the board. So Sanchez, yeah, the 4.8 is so attractive. And you think Pope's 5.2, you're actually going to save a few bob from
Yeah.
that transfer. Better team at the moment, better defense at the
Mhm.
moment. Yeah, just feels like a good pick. And I do like him more than the others we've mentioned.
Okay, and next two is Allison. I put him in because he's about to be coming back, we believe, from injury. But he's 5.4 minutes per save every 60 minutes, so he's not getting any saves. And he's not getting clean sheets either. He's only had two. But obviously he's been absent for a little while. But goals conceded just the 7 there. So I personally wouldn't go there. And then Raya as well. I mean, it's that great Arsenal defence. 5.9 though, you've got to pay for it, and it does lock up a place. But you might have that free if you move Gabriel on. But he's 5.9 minutes per save. Once again, every 61 minutes, you're not going to get save points there. Clean sheets 7, and that's what you're paying for.
Yeah, I think one of the key bits of advice here is don't sell Gabriel to get Raya and be tripled up on Arsenal
Yeah,
because been a lot of debate about Raya this season, and I'm on the side of you don't want your Arsenal spot on Raya. You want defenders, you want
yeah.
Saka, you want Rice, etc. So Raya is absolutely fine if you own him,
Mhm.
but I wouldn't be looking to bring him in because I'd rather feel their Arsenal spots to be
Yeah.
outfield players.
Okay. So meanwhile, you've got Chris Wood, Jokeres, Kudus, lots of attacking players.
I definitely have the worst team in FPL.
So what I've got up on the screen is actually a table that we showed last week as well. So do have a look at this. We looked at this in detail. I'm not going to go through all these names here. This is just a table just showing minutes per expected goal involvement, non-penalty, and it just opens up sort of the chat really about what you're thinking if you were to replace any of those attackers that you mentioned, whether that be the midfielder in Kudus or one of your strikers. One name that is very key is Thiago, who doesn't make this list. He doesn't make it just because he only just missed out. His minutes per expected goal involvement, non-penalties, every 261 minutes. But if you are, I mean, I'm sure we're going to talk about Thiago, but for more detail about Thiago, have a look at Tom Freeman's video, team reveal video I've done. I think that might be coming out after this one, even though I've recorded it before. But that has got more information about Thiago there. So it's not that we don't like Thiago. I know. I think it was one or two comments last week saying, "Where's Thiago on this list?" And so that's where he is. He just narrowly misses out because the expected stats suggest that he just misses out on this one. But that doesn't mean he's bad because he's got 8 goals. So anyway, so what are you thinking? If you get an attacker in, who goes and who comes in, and are they on this list?
Yeah, I'll just quickly mention the players I already own here. I've got Mateta,
Mm-hmm.
I've got Gyökeres, I've got Ismail Assar, and Bruno Fernandes. I think that's it.
Okay.
So the obvious ones to lose are Kudus, Gyökeres, Chris Wood. They all
Yeah.
need to go at some point. It's just a matter of which
Mm-hmm.
order they go in. And I top of the list is probably Enzo Fernandez. Again, looking at some numbers during the break, he's right up there for midfielders for expected goal involvement, along with Bruno Fernandez. So I think having both of the
Mm.
Fernandez guys is a good play. And I had Enzo in free hit. He blanked. I think he's probably blanked in the last 5 games,
He
but
has
his numbers
been
have been
near.
really his numbers have been really good, and I think owners have been unlucky. So, despite the blanks, I'm quite keen to get there. Brennan Boom, I really like for double Manchester United attack. Long term, up until game week 19, the fixtures are very good. So I like the idea of having both. Others that jump out at me here that I like a lot. To be honest, not a huge amount. I'm not going to get Haaland. I've covered that
Mm.
many times already this season, and
Yeah.
I'm an idiot for it. But there's always next season. In Jai, I still like as well. Yeah, Ahmad's here, but yeah, it's mainly
Mm.
Enzo. I think Enzo and Bumo are the two that really jump off the page at me here. And the striker I like most is not on the list. It is Thiago.
Yeah, yeah. Thiago just doesn't make that list. But yes, I'm also looking at Thiago. Midfielders, I'm okay at the moment. If I got any midfielders in, I might go a bit cheaper. Anderson maybe at Nottingham Forest, Xhaka at Sunderland. Just a reliable sort of first sub. Play them if you need to.
Such
Pretty
great value. Such great
Yeah,
value this year.
great value. I've got Minter here. I definitely recommend him, mainly because of the next 4 fixtures. I mean, as we said, 3 home games and then the away games, Nottingham Forest. So I think Welbeck. This is Welbeck and Minter time.
Yeah, I was going to say there. I said Enzo, I said Bumo, and if you forced me to pick a third one, it was going to be Minty.
Yeah,
I do
yeah,
like what I've seen
yeah,
of him this season.
yeah. I think he's good, and he's so cheap as well that and there's so many options you can move on up or down there. So yeah, okay. Some lots of thoughts there. I'm sure lots of other people's thoughts will be on either replacing attackers, but looking at that Gabriel injury. Let's have a look at the captaincy matrix, see how you're going. So regular watchers and listeners will know that Mark is going without Haaland and Salah this year, so he's not going to be captaining them. So the part of this is to show if it's a good fixture for Haaland and Salah, so if he's up against, and who else he could go for as well. It's quite useful for other people, especially this week. A lot of people aren't interested in Haaland against Newcastle, but there are other options as well. So we'll start with game week 12. Salah, which obviously you're not going to go for, but is a good option at home to Nottingham Forest. Semenyo, if he was okay at home to West Ham, it's such a good fixture, but we don't know about his injury at the moment. Now we're talking Saka, North London derby, home to Tottenham. Tottenham's actually a resort in the Isle of Wight. Tottenham even, and Haaland away to Newcastle. Then Mateta away to Wolves. So Saka or Mateta look to be the best ones for those going against Salah and Haaland.
Yeah, the first off, the Semenyo possible issue is terrible timing because I really like him as a captain this week at home to West Ham. Although West Ham
Yeah.
have improved a wee bit, so that'll be enough probably to just put me off the captain's armband unless we get a very clear update. The other annoying thing here is I keep getting Saka and Mateta captaincy calls wrong. I think I've gone either or the last two game weeks and got it wrong both occasions. I probably will end up having to make the same decision again this week. Arsenal at home to Spurs. I like that a lot for Saka in the derby. But likewise, Wolves have had a really tough season. Matera let me down last game week. I thought he looked tired, but I think he scored for France during the break as well. He's obviously enjoying a really nice spell late in his career, late bloomer. And against Wolves, maybe he gets the captain's armband again. Although it could be a transfer in that gets the armband. For example, if Brian Mbeumo was to come in, I quite like Monday night, waiting on watching all the other captains blank, and then having my captain to go Monday night. Could also obviously be Bruno as well for that fixture against Everton. So yeah, not again like it is most
Yeah.
weeks, not a straightforward captaincy call.
Yeah, I mean, of course, Bruno Fernandes, Brian Bomo are good captaincy calls, but I don't know if you just never know. Manchester United against Everton, I don't know. That doesn't
Yeah,
scream
I don't really
captaincy.
like the fixture.
No. Moving on to game week 13. Right, okay. Everyone who owns Haaland will captain him. He's home to Leeds. That's just the way it is. Semenyo against Sunderland. I thought sort of done this. I mean, the rate my team tool still think he's good for this, but obviously I think Sunderland are a better side. I think the standout really could be Thiago, which is he's actually at home to Burnley this week. Thiago at home to Burnley, I think looks to be the standout.
Yeah, we did, 4 or 5 weeks ago we looked at this game week and you said Shada and I kind of laughed at you.
Yeah,
But now I'm thinking, yeah, Thiago,
yeah,
fancy that penalty
yeah.
taker, 8 goals in 11. Burnley are in a league of their own for expected goals conceded. I think it's around
Yep.
24. I think the next four teams were, 16 point something. So
Yeah.
if you're targeting a team this year, it's Burnley. So I think that's probably an easy one for me if I have Thiago
Yeah.
on captaincy, and it's probably a factor, for him maybe coming in
Yeah.
this week.
Yeah, I mean, I pinpoint him as a very useful player. For you, I think he's a vital player.
Yeah,
Obviously,
I think I've got to go get him.
Salah is away to West Ham. That's another very, very good option here, but it is an away match as well. So, but yeah, Salah, another good option there. Game week 14, Haaland is away to Fulham. I still think that's good for Haaland. Salah is at home to Sunderland, could be good. And then you're starting to look at Brian Mbeumo or Bruno Fernandes at home to West Ham. That's a fabulous fixture. Saka home to Brentford, very good as well. Palmer could be back as well. He's got Leeds away to Leeds that weekend. I think that's a weekend anyway, that fixture. So it's away. Yeah,
I think that's actually midweek, that one.
it's our midweek one. So this is the midweek game. Palmer's got Leeds there. So there are options there. Some you own, some you don't. But certainly the Manchester United and Arsenal assets that week could be good.
Yeah, I think jumps. Saka v Brentford jumps out. I also like again Mateta away Burnley.
Mm,
But again, midweek could be a bit of rotation and stuff like that. So
yeah.
yeah, Bruno or Bumo in the last game of the game week
Mm,
again. There, that could be the one.
yep. Game week 15, Haaland at home to Sunderland. Once again, most owners will captain him then. Not so bad for Bruno and Brian and Bomo. Away to Wolves. And then Salah as well. Who's got Leeds. Just having a look at Thiago there, game week 15. I've got a feeling it's not so good. Yeah, away to Tottenham. I'm not sure. Doesn't scream captain. But yeah, I mean, just going back to your team, because you'd be similar to, well, not similar, because a lot of us have Haaland, but in terms of you've got Bruno Fernandes, could you, I mean, is it worth doubling up? Because Manchester United look really key for captaincy for someone in your position.
Yeah, I want to double up. I want Brian Bumo. I think he's been fantastic this season, and it's not going to be at the expense of Bruno, so it's in place
Mm.
of. So I would like to turn Kudus into Bumo,
Yeah,
and I might even try to do it this week, even if I need to take a -8 this week just to
yeah.
get my team set up for the foreseeable. New goalkeeper, Brennan Bumo, possible captaincy candidate for a couple of
Yeah.
game weeks, and maybe Thiago then for
Mm.
Gyökeres would probably make it all work.
Yeah.
It would out for Thiago might even make it work financially. So yeah, I'm looking at some hits, and I'll just be much happier with my team then. And even if it's a -8, I'll be confident I can kind of make that back over the next few weeks because the team needs surgery. I can't patch it up for
No.
any longer.
No, definitely. I think in your position as well, without Haaland, that would be advantageous. I'm certainly glad I've got Bruno Fernandes. And I do wish I had both as well, but I just haven't got space. Game week
Yeah.
16, this is the last one. Saka's got Wolves, great. Haaland against Crystal Palace, I don't know. I've traditionally gone against Haaland for this one, either not owned or not gone for the captaincy here. And I think I've pretty much, I think he scored one goal in that time over against Crystal Palace in this particular fixture over the years. So, it does work. Salah's got Brighton at home. Once again, Bruno Fernandes and Bomo. But this could be Brian and Bomo's last game. He may not even be available because he's off to AFCON. So the window for Brian and Bomo is sort of now because you want to get those fixtures, especially if you're going to take a hit. Meanwhile, Thiago has Leeds at home. So Thiago, Manchester United look absolutely key for you, and I think perhaps for all of us next
The
5
problem
weeks.
is the problem is we need to trust them to do well. That's the hard part.
Yeah,
And the other thing I like about a Brennan Bumo transfer in is the closer we get to AFCON, the less people will buy him.
yeah,
It's one of those, I'm not going to get him because he's going away soon.
no,
So if you can get him in soon, you can maybe benefit from that. And just looking at those Game Week 16 fixtures, a lot of tasty fixtures there that could go either way. It's not an easy week for
yeah,
captaincy. So, but the good thing is that week, buy free transfer, so could literally captain anyone.
yeah. Just a note on free hits because I've still got my free hit and bench boost left. You don't have those, do you?
Just triple captain for me.
Just triple captain. Game weeks 13 and game week 16 look really good ones for chips. Game week 13, a bench boost or free hit in my case. Game week 16, similar. Because you've got some really nice fixtures for some of the cheaper players. So, a bench boost works. There's a game week 16, Burnley at home to Fulham. So that's quite good. That's as good as you're going to get for Dubravka. Meanwhile, you've got all these really good teams with really good fixtures. So that could be good for bench boost. Could be good for a free hit as well. So that's I just thought I'd put that in really, just because we've got to use our chips by game week 19. So time's marching on.
Yeah, do you know, I haven't really looked too much at triple captain yet either, mainly because my captains usually get me 2 points each week. But there's obviously opportunities coming up and some good fixtures, stuff like that. So probably looking at a Saka or something for triple captain.
Yeah, there's certainly options there. And I think game weeks 13, 16, just what I've seen on social media and things, 13, I think I can see some chips being used there. Not sure which ones, but because of course Haaland's at home to Leeds as well. So for the Haaland owners who haven't used the triple captaincy already, that just looks the best remaining triple captaincy. I think.
Brentford home to Burnley that week as well looks good, whether it's bench boost or free hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a few in there.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. I hope it's giving you some food for thought there, and also for you watching and listening as well. So good luck with your transfer decisions. We'll know more. Check out Fantasy Football Scout's social media and website, and also the team news at the end of the week to get latest on all those team developments as well, and injury developments, because it would be advantageous, not to tell people what to do, but it would be advantageous to hold your transfer because there's so much up in the air this week.
Yeah, it's an important Friday for yourself and Neil getting the team news out there.
Definitely. Okay, thanks so much for your time. Take care. See you next week.
Cheers all.